I think the best way that I can do it is just say that, my first almost 10 years managing, it was against Rickey. So I was able to appreciate in a really difficult way his greatness, because I think a bunch of us have said over and over again, Rickey, in a game where he's down a run, his team is down a run or tied, is the most dangerous player that you can have to get out in that, like the top or bottom of the ninth inning. So we did it for, our clubs did it for years, and knew about his greatness and didn't really know about it because, you read his stuff about maybe he's not the greatest teammate, which I'd fault to me. I should have known better. But when he walked in the door, I mean, we just literally said, our coaches all met him and said, Rickey, you're the missing piece. And and what I can add more than anything else, Greg, is the greatness of the player when you played against him. But you always measure a great player about the effect on his team. Does he make his teammates better? It's not just that he goes in there and produces, whether he's a pitcher or a player. And Rickey was really galvanizing, a spark plug. We had a team of personalities, and right then it was the perfect match for us. And what we learned, and I learned, and our coaches learned, that he was as great a teammate as he was a player. He was literally beloved. There was nothing superstarish about him where he would hold himself aside and need to have his butt kissed or anything. He was right in the middle of all the action, and there was a lot of action with that group in the clubhouse.
Tony, I want to ask on that note of appreciating not just the player as the missing piece to your franchise, but the person and the leader. We know a lot about his personality. We've heard a lot more about his personality today, but what did you appreciate about him as a leader in the clubhouse that made his teammates better? Was it the work ethic? Was it leading by example? Was it just the positive energy he brought around, or all of the above?
Well, he had something to say in that clubhouse. And also, that team was so close. It could be on a bus going to or from the airport, on the back of the plane. Rickey had his comments to add. And we had leadership now. We had Stu and Eck, and we had Dave Henderson, Carney Lansford, Dave Parker. But Rickey had his contribution, but what was even more important was, his preparation for the game. And one of the things that I like to point out, because you don't ever have a really good team or a really great player unless there's a real toughness about them, physically and mentally. And just like we tried to make it tough for 10 years, when you had them on your team and you see that the other side, they're planning how they can stop Rickey, and they had a lot of schemes, a lot of strategies, and they even tried to scare him, just try to intimidate him. And you saw how tough he was in a tough situation. He couldn't be. It's like I told a friend of mine yesterday, you couldn't scare him and you couldn't stop him. And that to me is inspirational to our team, because the brighter the moment, some people say that's when he played his best. He played his best. He's out put on a show every day in uniform. So his contributions to us was we had to rise our level of play to his greatness. And his example was just as important as what he said vocally.